on the National Health Food Service. I'll now hand back over to George to take your questions.
You there, Journalist 1.
What prevents a rogue council worker or peer cook from creating fake user accounts to spam thousands of £0 transactions on the gov.uk app, artificially inflating their borough's performance stats without actually feeding anyone?
The gov.uk digital system relies on verified identity registration, e.g., National Insurance or gov.uk One login for all active worker volunteer accounts logging distributions. The central backend runs real-time algorithmic anomaly checks, flagging rapid-fire transactions, impossible geographic clusters, or identical batch entries. Because the transaction ledger is open public data, local investigative journalists and opposition councillors can audit transaction patterns. Fabricating records on a state digital portal carries direct criminal fraud charges. Next question, Journalist 2.
If a peer cook prepares meals and receives 50% of the customer fee via the app upon withdrawal, doesn't this legally classify them as a worker or employee, triggering statutory minimum wage, holiday pay, and pension obligations for the state or council?
No. The framework explicitly operates as a self-directed, open-access micro-gig platform hosted on state infrastructure. The state provides the digital clearing tool. It does not set shifts, mandate minimum hours, manage performance, or enforce work contracts. Cooks choose if, when, and for whom they cook, setting their own prices or accepting preset fees. Earnings are distributed as direct task revenue upon voluntary withdrawal, falling under standard sole trader trading allowances without establishing an employment contract with the council or government. Next question, Journalist 3.
By requiring all food exchanges to be logged digitally on the gov.uk app website and forcing money splits through bank accounts, aren't you locking out vulnerable, unbanked, or offline citizens who need food the most?
The digital logging burden rests entirely on the distributor, the registered worker or volunteer, not the customer receiving free food. A vulnerable individual walking up to a site for a £0 item does not need a smartphone, an app, or an ID. The volunteer logs the distribution on their own device. For paid cooked meals, integration with basic municipal payment cards or preloaded offline voucher tokens ensures no one is turned away due to a lack of a smartphone or personal bank account. Next question, Journalist 4.
Isn't it true that affluent suburban councils with wealthy volunteers will run immaculate hubs, while struggling urban councils will leave behind bare, uncoordinated plots, effectively punishing poorer communities for their council's lack of resources?
The point of lowering the statutory requirement to a minimal physical footprint, a park kiosk, modular unit, or open plot is to eliminate the resource excuse entirely. Sourcing food is not dependent on local municipal wealth, surplus stock, central redistribution, and public sector produce are available nationwide. If an affluent council excels while a neighboring council leaves a plot empty and uncoordinated, it exposes administrative incompetence, not a financial deficit. Laying this bare on the national digital platform forces local voters to hold their council leaders accountable. Next question, Journalist 5.
If a council designates a bare open field or a park kiosk with no running water or commercial kitchen infrastructure, how can a peer cook safely or legally prepare hot food without triggering food poisoning outbreaks or massive civil liabilities?
The framework distinguishes national digital logging from local site management. The Council is the sole authority responsible for site amenities and health safety rules on its grounds. If a council designates a site lacking running water or safe cooking gear, its local site rules must restrict activity to pre-packaged items or shelf goods until basic mobile sanitation units are installed, funded through their 50% share of future meal transactions. If cooking does occur, every meal prep transaction is logged to a specific registered account on the gov.uk app, establishing clear traceability. If a health issue ever needs investigation. Next question. Journalist 6.
How does HMRC treat the 50% payout received by individual cooks when a cook accumulates earnings in their gov.uk digital wallet and withdraws them to a UK bank account? Are they subject to income tax, or does the government app handle tax reporting automatically?
Because the system operates on the state's own gov.uk infrastructure, financial flow is transparent by design. Withdrawals fall directly under the UK's existing £1,000 annual trading allowance for micro-income. For casual cooks earning below £1,000 a year through the app, no tax reporting is required. If an individual's cumulative annual withdrawals exceed £1,000, the gov.uk app automatically generates a tax summary and feeds the data to HMRC, keeping the individual fully compliant without requiring manual bookkeeping or corporate tax filings. Next question. Journalist 7.
What prevents major supermarket chains or commercial food distributors from using National Health Food Service sites as free dumping grounds for spoiled, hazardous, or unsellable waste stock to avoid paying commercial disposal fees?
Local councils hold complete gatekeeping authority over what enters their premises. Councils define intake criteria, such as accepting only sealed surplus goods within safe consumption windows. Furthermore, because all inventory deliveries must be logged into the gov.uk system under a registered supplier or volunteer account, any commercial entity attempting to drop hazardous stock leaves an indelible digital footprint on the state ledger, exposing them to municipal fines and public accountability. Next question. Journalist 8.
What stops a cook and a customer from bypassing the gov.uk app entirely, trading in physical cash, and pocketing 100% of the money to avoid the 50% council split?
Let's be completely clear about how authority is divided here. The physical location belongs to the local council, and they control who operates on their land. If a cook tries to run a cash-in-hand business on council property using council-funded power, water, or shelter, they are violating local site rules. The council, as the site manager, has full authority to enforce those rules and immediately revoke that person's physical access to the space and its amenities. At the same time, the moment someone steps off the official gov.uk app, they forfeit every single protection this national framework provides. They are no longer a protected participant in a state health initiative. They become an unauthorized vendor running an unrecorded business on municipal property. That immediately exposes them to standard national laws, local bylaws against illegal trading, HMRC tax evasion scrutiny, and the loss of the app's automated micro-income tax protections. The gov.uk app is what gives a cook the legal right to use the council's facilities, hold their earnings safely in a state digital wallet, and gain protection against municipal harassment. Bypassing the system trades all of those legal protections away for an off-ledger cash transaction that leaves them exposed to site removal, local fines, and tax enforcement. Next question, Journalist 9.
What happens if an opposition-led council deliberately boycotts the initiative, registering an inaccessible plot of land miles out of town with zero amenities just to sabotage the program politically?
Deliberate administrative sabotage is exposed instantly by design. The National Gov.uk app displays a live public map and data dashboard of every council district. If neighboring boroughs show active hubs, distributing thousands of meals while a hostile council shows zero transactions on a muddy, remote field, local voters and regional media see clear evidence of municipal neglect. The government does not need to waste years fighting the council in court. The public dataset forces local political accountability at the next ballot box. For the YouTube comment section, if you had to choose a 10th question to ask, what would it be?